Hi everyone, welcome to my first vinyl and CD update. I'm going to be going through the things that I've bought since Christmas, so it's just over 2 months ago because we're now at the beginning of March. And you might see some things that you're interested in. If you've got any questions about any of these things, then feel free to post me a question. So, for Christmas, I really wanted to show this one because this is a band that you may not have heard of. This is the Lemon Twigs. So this is a band from New York. It's brothers Brian and Michael Daddario and the rest of their band. And I absolutely love this album. I saw them for the first time supporting the Arctic Monkeys back in September and immediately bought tickets for their UK tour, which has been going on over the last few days. This album is called Go to School. And it's a cross between Tommy by The Who, it's Queen, it's real sort of early 70s glam rock kind of stuff as well. It's really difficult to describe exactly what this sounds like because it's like nothing else that I've got. But if you've not checked these guys out, you'll either love it or hate it, and it really could go either way. I love this. If there's any Todd Rundgren fans listening, he features on this album. He guest vocals on one of the songs. But Go to School by the Lemon Twigs, I would absolutely recommend you check that out and make up your own mind as to whether it's for you or not. That's the only CD I'm going to show you because it's been vinyl all the way for me in the last couple of months. So I'm going to go through these in the order that I got them. So on Boxing Day, I got Bob Dylan's debut album, one of my favourite Bob Dylan albums, and John Wesley Harding from later on in the 60s. Now, the interesting thing to point out on these two albums, both of them, well, the debut album certainly says stereo there, and John Wesley Harding, if it doesn't say stereo on here, then it certainly says it on the label. Well, in fact, I'll show you there. You can see it quite clearly says stereo, but these are the mono albums. The label's wrong. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's a common issue or not. If anybody else has come across this, let me know. But both of these albums clearly state that they're stereo, but they're the mono versions. Now, I'm glad I've got the mono versions. I'd rather have the mono, but it's just weird that they're labelled stereo. Anyway, I'm probably going to do a Bob Dylan album ranking video soon, so stick around if you might be interested in that one. The same day, when I was in town buying those Bob Dylan albums, no, not the same day, a couple of days later, Kate Bush, The Sensual World from 1989. It's got probably my favourite Kate Bush song on here, This Woman's Work. I think I did an unwrapping video of this, so I'll put a link to that up here somewhere if you want to go and watch that later on. Really nice album. These next three are all second-hand albums. It's very rare that I buy second-hand for vinyl, but there's a shop called Relics in Leeds, which is a really nice shop. If you're ever in the Leeds area, I'd recommend you go to Relics near the Grand Theatre. And for, I think, a grand total of £26, I picked up 3 albums that day. One of them is Simon & Garfunkel, Parsley, Sage, Rosemary and Thyme. Show you the track listing there. Some great songs on there. Track 3 on side 2, one of my favourites, A Simple Desultory Philippic. Is that how you say it? It's a great song though. Absolutely taking the mickey out of Bob Dylan on that song. Very funny song, but a really good song as well. Second one I bought while I was in Relics that day, Paul McCartney, Give My Regards to Broad Street, which I've not owned on vinyl before. This is a gatefold. Let's open that up. There's that. I mean, it is one of the worst Paul McCartney albums. There's no doubt about that. This is different to the CD, actually. I think there's been some changes. Eleanor's Dream is cut down on the vinyl. I don't think it has Goodnight Princess at the end. No, it doesn't. And there might be some other differences as well. Basically, they wanted to release a single album, but they couldn't fit everything that was on the CD onto a single album. And so it's got some of the stuff missing there. The third one I bought while I was in Relics is John Lennon and Yoko, I guess, if we're going to be technical about it. Double Fantasy. So obviously the album that came out just a few weeks before he died in 1980. And there's some great songs on here. See if we can get you a close-up of that for if anybody can't remember the track listing of it. Can you see that? There you go. There's a cheeky little edit there with a focused track listing because I realised I didn't have my autofocus on. Yeah, I'm glad I've got that. It certainly feels like an old original copy potentially, but sounds pretty nice. And it's another nail in the coffin, basically, for my chances of ever getting the John Lennon signature vinyl box set, because I'm slowly working my way through getting some of the albums that are in that, and I just don't see I'm ever going to have the need to buy that. There's another one coming later that I've bought just recently from that box set. Then I've got Kate Bush Aerial. I absolutely love this album, and I have done since the day it came out. It's probably my second favourite Kate Bush album behind Hounds of Love. Lovely album. Again, I did an unwrapping video on this, so I'll put a link to that if anybody wants to go and watch that, so you get a bit more detail about Kate Bush Aerial. But it's a wonderful album, definitely worth checking out. This one I bought this early January, but it was last night, which was the 1st of March, where I played this for the first time. And that's Daft Punk, Random Access Memories, which came out about 5 years ago, 2013 it says here. And some of the best sound quality I've heard come from my Riga turntable since I bought it was on this last night. So Doing It Right near the end, which was a song that I'd not really given much attention to, sounded fantastic. Really enjoyed listening to that last night. And Giorgio by Moroder, the track featuring Giorgio Moroder, is just sounds superb. So if you've not heard that album, I'd certainly recommend checking that out. That's Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. Really nice. Another Kate Bush. The Kick Inside, her debut album from 1978, featuring Wuthering Heights, The Man with the Child in His Eyes, saxophone song, some great songs on here. One thing that I didn't point out in my unboxing video that I did for this, I don't know whether you're going to be able to see this, but look at this. This is really shoddy. On the label, it actually says the Kick Insd, INSDE, instead of the Kick Inside. That is really, really poor quality control. Fortunately, the album itself sounds really good. Yeah, it's a really good album, just full of great songs. Another one that I did to do a separate sort of review of when I got it is the McCartney interview, which was this came out in 1980 in the UK and I think 81 in the United States. And it was the first time he really opened up about a lot of the Beatles era in interviews. And it was so good that they decided to release it. It was never the original plan. But that's worth a listen, the McCartney interview. I'll show you the back of the album there. And then I bought possibly the best greatest hits album of all time, Queen Greatest Hits. It's an absolute classic in its own right. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that. So this is nice. Let's just open this up and show you that. It's a nice gatefold there that's got a lot of good images relating to the songs on the album. Now it sounds really nice, this, apart from, I thought We Are the Champions, the last song on the album, sounded pretty terrible, to be honest. So if any of you have got this on vinyl, the recent vinyl issue, I'd love to know whether it's affecting other people as well. I just thought it just sounded distorted. It might have been a bit of inner groove distortion, maybe, I don't know. But it just didn't sound very good at all. The rest of the album, though, superb. 3 more to go. Zooropa by U2. Again, I did a separate video on this, so I'll put a link to that if you want to go and watch that. This is the album that came out. It was sort of recorded right in the middle of their Zoo TV tour in 93. That followed Achtung Baby, and then they went back to continue the rest of the tour after this album, bringing songs from this in, and it's a bit mad. It sort of sums up the madness of the time that they were having with that tour, crazy big tour. So I bought that in the middle of January. I didn't buy another record until the middle of February, and a whole calendar month, well, a whole month, unheard of for me. Until I picked up Kate Bush Lionheart, an album that I'd not really given a lot of time to, but then I listened to it on my iPod a few times because I've got the CD, and I just thought, yeah, I really like this album. It's grown on me a lot, so I bought the vinyl, and that sounds really nice. So that's another great album from Kate there. Lionheart. That was her. This was her second album, I believe. Yeah, I think so. And the last one, I mentioned a nail in the coffin for me ever buying the John Lennon signature box. Well, yeah, another nail in the coffin is the fact that I've bought Walls and Bridges. I really like this album, and I always have done. I would place it. Well, I won't say exactly where it is in my John Lennon album rankings because I'm planning on doing a video on that soon. But suffice to say that it's an album that I've always really enjoyed, and this is pretty cool. If you look at the cover, you might have seen it flapping a bit already there. This comes back, and this comes back as well, does it? It does. It seems to be a bit stuck at the moment. There you go. That comes back as well to reveal the normal album cover. Now, what these bits do here that have got pictures of John on, if you fold them right back, it makes a new image on the back there. But it looks like it's really going to crease it if I do that, so I'm really reluctant to do it. Maybe in time I will, but yeah, they fold right back to sort of create a new image of John on the back. Yeah, so that's the last one that I've bought. I'm probably going to do these updates maybe every couple of months, just go through what I've picked up in that time. So this covers me from Christmas right up to the sort of end of February. And if you've got any comments, if you've got any of these albums, or you want to ask any questions about any of these albums, then feel free to get in touch. And I'll put some links in the corners here to some of the other videos that might be of interest to you. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.